Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed the 3 microscope examination from yesterday. They were not they were pretty standard. Not much surprise, but again, I understood that some people like to see more. If it's very important to you, I can conduct more. It's not that much of a trouble to me. Just, I can make, do even more microscopic examination today, this afternoon, this evening. It's not that much of a trouble. Just, as I say many times, you need not to oversample, because then you can reach to all sorts of mistakes because of because of oversampling. So with regards to how do we continue, I must say that I miss my daughters very much, and hopefully I'll be able to speak with them today. But of course, they need their father, not just a WhatsApp father from time to time. And this is a major crime against us, and we will never forgive humanity for what they have done to us. Never. This is a declaration of war, to take our children from us in order to put more pressure on us, like to be your horse. This is a declaration of war. And it's more than a year now. And it will never stop, because this is the only thing left to... the Israelis have taken everything from me. They've taken all my money. They made it impossible for me to work in my profession. They've taken everything. And the only thing that is left is my daughters, and then they took my daughters as well. We will never forgive humanity for that. Now, again, I will say, regarding all those people that say we didn't know. Some titans from abroad say, we didn't know anything about you because we did not receive the yellow ones, but just the red ones from the titan females in Israel. But I say, my answer to that is the same answer. It's very easy to know if people were part of the conspiracy against me, or that they were really fooled by the Israelis. The question is, what happened when you actually understand what happened? When you discover the reality of this conspiracy? Because then you have two options. First is to continue conversation, which is evidently what everybody is doing. And the second option is to stop conversation and to run to Israel to get me out of this hell, and to fix, or try to fix a little bit, all the cruelties that you were part of. And if you do the first, it means that you were always part of the conspiracy. If the so-called discovery of the true nature of what happened only makes you speak even more, it means that you were always part of it. Always part of it. And if you run to Israel to get me out of here, it means that you were really fooled. And of course, people do not run. They continue conversation. Maybe this thing, maybe that, maybe prove us that this thing. What do you need to prove? You understand that presumably the Israelis lie to you all the time about me, which is incorrect, because you knew the truth. But let's say that you didn't know the truth. So now you know the truth. So you understand that you were part of a tremendous evil for many, many years. Why don't you try to fix it using arms and legs? Why do you continue conversation? Because you were part of a conspiracy all across the planet. That's why I say, any titan abroad that eaten one bit of these things, they are part of the crime against me. And this is another reason why I say that if I will be rescued from this hell, it will be not by titans, but by Homo sapienses that want any kind of future form for their children. That understand that you are under attack by alien species that will not forgive you and will not forget whatever you've done to them. And the only way to save part of humanity, even a small part, is to completely halt any kind of communication. Ta'anit dibur, as they say in Hebrew, ta'anit dibur. A fast of speaking. No speech at all, in the broad sense. No messages, no songs, no theater shows. Run to Israel to get me out of here. Run. literally run to Israel to get me and my daughters out of this hell. And if you don't do it, it means that you prefer the ego over life. Which is a shame, but this is reality. This is reality. Now, with regards to science. So how do we continue from here? So there are several things that could be done now. Not necessarily new things. So one thing that I haven't done and I should do is try to salvage a piece of very low voltage lamp from whatever I have in this room, to connect it to the circuit to see if we can actually prove energy transfer using this existing experiment. Now, in addition to that, what's more on the agenda? So, actually, there are several things that I need to speak about, like, just I don't have the mood for that. First, I need to complete the Akhenaton, the archaeology, and specifically ancient Egypt short series. I don't like to be in debt too much for too long, so maybe I'll do it today to finish with that. And there is also the solid state physics, which is important for energy generation, but I'll keep it to the last. And in the middle, we have the cosmology series. And in the cosmology series, I will address questions like, are they everywhere, or are they part, of the fabric? Are these robots part of the fabric of the universe, or are they God? Whatever that means. No, they are not. But are they God is transcendental, and they are not transcendental, or are they, were they created in the beginning of time? Things like that. And what I'll also do is take the opportunity to speak about something that I mentioned in the last microscopic examination, which is, what can we learn from the distribution of the neurons, the different sizes of the neurons, like the frequency of the sizes in a given sample? What can be learned from it? This is a mathematical question that was addressed in the past 6 or 7 months ago, but I don't know. It will be difficult for me to actually find the video right now, because there are so many videos. It will be easier to just speak about it as part of the cosmology video, because it's related. It's actually related to cosmological. Originally I spoke about it as a proof to some kind of like it was kind of like a proof for conjecture that is not related to cosmology, but it's also related to cosmology actually. So I'll speak about like the mathematical argumentation or statistical argumentation, both from the cosmological perspective and from the original perspective in which it was raised initially, like 7 months ago. Another thing that we can do, which might be extremely interesting to people that haven't seen it already, but actually I've done it several times and even repeatedly done it like about a month ago or 2 months ago, is to show you the two basic, what I call the two basic experiments. But maybe now I'll do it with a little twist of adding magnets and sodium bicarbonate, which was not part of the original construction. There is what I call the two basic experiments. The two basic experiments are the two basic. It's basic from of course in the context of this channel, this YouTube channel, is both are electrolysis, are based on electrolysis. Electrolysis with mixture that should be simple, which means mostly my pee and my semen and other stuff, mostly alcohol and iodine solution. Today I went to the pharmacy and so I bought a little bit of alcohol, so we'll be able to use it. And again, maybe I'll add a twist of sodium bicarbonate and also into magnets, like it's part of the container. But the idea is the two basic experiments is multiplying neos and creation of life forms inside a relatively simple container with simple solution, which is again mostly my pee and my semen and a little bit of alcohol and iodine solution, and simple electrolysis, and to do and of course you need to use the correct symbols. The symbology is very important. So one experiment is aimed in creating new neos, multiplying the neos in very, very quick way, not like in the ecosystem pathway, but in the energetic pathway using electrolysis. And the other is creating life forms, mostly worms that are the most basic life forms, both the microscopic worms and actually worms that are visible by the naked eye. Both these experiments are not new. You can find tremendous amount of variation of these two experiments in this channel, starting February, I think. And I've done it many times, and I think maybe it can be maybe I'll do it again first, just again to show it to people that haven't watched. I don't know if you haven't watched any of these two until now, so maybe it will be interest to you, even though there are many old videos that show it, but maybe you don't have access. I don't know, you tell me, maybe in the comments, if someone haven't watched this experiment already, because these are the two basic experiments. But also what I will maybe be able to gain from these experiments is specifically the one of creating the neos, is to create relatives, because I want relatives, neos that are relatives. And then maybe I'll be able to take this relative mixture and put it, add it to the two containers. Presumably, it might be helpful in order to demonstrate energy transfer between the two containers, because of the assumption that the relatives are, it's easier for relatives to transfer energy and matter between them than it is for neos that are not relative. So this is kind of the idea. It shouldn't be too difficult. If we want to use magnets, so so there's a question of what container, but the most basic thing, you could do it just in a simple glass, cup, just even made of cup of made out of paper, just hard paper, it's enough to show you how it's done. So maybe I'll do it today. So this is probably the agenda, and there is a demise of the Titans in Israel, which is not a new thing. Should be mentioned. They should mention that this, of course, will affect energy all over the world. Especially not all over the world, but especially people that like radioactive materials, radioactive isotopes. Presumably the French, but of course not only the French people. And for them, I say, what I say to everybody. Arms and legs. You need to rescue me from hell using arms and legs, not using mouses and tongues. Arms and legs. Again, I should say that, I bought a little bit of sodium bicarbonate today, so I've added it to the mixture here, and even here, so such things, they might be of help to produce larger neos or more neos, but this is kind of ridiculous to put too much effort, from your perspective, on such actions, because again, during the last months, I burned or threw to the garbage, unsalvageable garbage, between 90-95% of the robots that I had in my possession. This is documented in this channel. And I've done it to reduce the pressure from the zombies in this apartment that are always violent towards me. And of course the operators, and this is the more important thing. So, I mean, it's kind of like ridiculous to think too much about, how many Neros, how many robots are in this container when most of it was just destroyed in the last months by my own hands because of the cruel condition where I'm placed. You need to rescue me from hell. This is what you need to do if you want to survive the attacks of the aliens, and also if you want any chance of getting, even indirectly, any amount of this stuff. You need to rescue me from hell. I don't need these robots for my survival. They came from my body and they multiplied outside my body. For me, it's science. It's important because, first, it's kind of like entertainment. I'm under house arrest for more than a year. And I need something, to do that should be interesting. And also, I think about the future. Whatever the circumstances, any circumstances in the future in which I'll be alive, it will be helpful to me to understand science, the science of the Neros better. It doesn't matter if no humans exist at all. Some sentient creature will exist, and this science will be helpful to me. But I cannot sell it, and I'm not, because I'm under arrest, and it's illegal for me to do anything that is not allowed by the Shabak, which is just being their whore. That's what they want, or their shoe, their mattress. That's what they want. So I don't need it, to survive, and I don't need it for energy. This is ridiculous. For me, it's science. You need it in order to survive, and you need it for energy. It's your interest that these things will not be destroyed. And the only thing that you can do and need to do is to rescue me and my daughters from the Nazi hell using arms and legs, not mouths and tongues. Arms and legs. I know how to create these Neros in grand scale using just, things that come from my body and the ecosystem pathway and the energetic pathways. And of course, if I was not under arrest, I could have done it much more efficiently and effectively. If I were a free person outside of the hell of Israel, I could have produced tremendous amount of these things. Tremendous amount. And I don't need no Titan females, I don't need no Venusian Stargate, I've never been in Venus, and I do not intend to go there in the near future, in the foreseeable future. I only need my freedom. My freedom, which I'll never receive in Israel, because here I'm a slave and a shoe to these people, to these monsters. So, again, thinking too much about what's inside the container is ridiculous. What you need to think about is how to get me outside of hell using arms and legs, not mouths and tongues. Arms and legs.